G'day everyone, this is the Prismatic Reverb. It is Rob Deadastronaut's Flying Saucer Reverb, which is based on the Box of Hall. You can get information about this pedal on DIYStompboxes forum. There's a thread on there, and you can see there's a PCB layout that you can etch, or you can also ask O Tiree. I mentioned this in the last mailbag video. His boards, he'll make a board up for you. Just shoot him a message and get in contact with him. He'll be able to help you out with that. If you're into reverb and delay effects, I highly recommend this one. There is absolutely no doubt. I have no hesitation in recommending this effect. It is absolutely awesome. I had very high expectations of this reverb. From what I'd heard on YouTube, it really sounded good, and all of them have been surpassed. It is fantastic. When I finished building it and I was playing around with it, I was thinking to myself, if I bought this as a commercial pedal, you know, like, I'd be happy to pay over $100 for this pedal. It just sounds that good. The name Prismatic Reverb came from sort of how I sort of interpreted the sound. I just sort of, whenever I was playing it, I was just sort of visualizing a prism with a white light going in, and, you know, all the different color spectrums coming out the other side, and also because this enclosure uses the holographic flake, and it just sparkles reds, greens, there's purples, blues. It's and it was a really appropriate enclosure actually to put it in. I wanted to make sure that there was an effect that was justified putting into this enclosure, because I really like this enclosure, and it's the perfect match for this effect. I'm going to end up changing these knobs because they're really cheap and they're really letting down the look of this pedal in my opinion. I'm going to get 4 of these, and also it's a bit of a tight squeeze getting 4 across the width, or whatever you'd want to call it, of this BB enclosure, and they actually bang into each other, which is really annoying like that. So I've got to put smaller diameter knobs, and these will fit perfectly. So I'm going to buy some from Mammoth next time I order them. I've commented on these knobs before, how much I personally think they're great. The feel of them, the look of them, yeah, they're really good. Next time you get if you want to get an aluminium knob from Mammoth, pick a couple up, because yeah, I reckon they're great. As you can see on the inside too, they've got a metal insert too, which is nice. They're really well made. I'll just show you a close-up of this holographic flake on the front. The last video I did with the powder coating video I did, it was kind of difficult to tell. You couldn't really see. It didn't look as brilliant as it does in real life. That's obviously going to be a bit too close. I'll just get back. I'm trying to get as close as I can there. It's all sorts of colours sparkling, and it's probably something that you have to really see in real life to appreciate. But I'll just get my mobile phone. I'll put my mobile phone torch on it, so you might be able to see it a bit better. I'm not sure if it's going to make it better or worse, but yeah, it just twinkles, and it's an amazing effect. If you're into powder coating and you do your own powder coating, I highly recommend just get a small sample of this stuff and throw it in the next clear coat that you do, and check it out. It looks good on any color, white, black. You know, black shows up a lot more than white does, but even white, it's just kind of like it's a bit of more of a subtle sort of effect. So the only modification that I've done is this switch over here with the O on it. You might not be able to see that because the light's reflecting a bit there. It's got a little O on that on the left hand side. O's for oscillate, because this this switch swaps R13 from 33K to 22K, and I'm assuming, you know, I'm no electronics engineer, but from if I had to guess, it's probably just pumping more of the original signal back into the belt and brick, to the point that it just keeps building up and building up and building up until it goes mental. So it's a pretty good effect, and I'll show you some demonstrations of that actually in the sound demo. And this white knob up here, I've done this in a few other builds. Something that I like to do to put the volume as a different color, particularly with something like this that can really get loud fast, it's nice to have a nice easy way to find the volume when that happens. So yeah, it's something that I sometimes do. I make the volume a different color. So yeah, that's just a output volume pot, which I've already spoke about a million times, but I'll leave a link on the video in case you haven't seen those videos of how to do it. It's very easy. You can add one to whatever effect you like. You just put it on the output of the effect. So let's take a look inside. Before we do, this is a switch that was on the schematic. Now, I'm not sure if I just I made a solder bridge, but it doesn't seem to be doing much. So I've scratched around the switch connections on the PCB to make sure there's no solder bridges there, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. And I can't remember, I've tinkered around with it a bit. I can't remember if it was doing something and now it's not. It's just one of those things in the build process. Sometimes it can get a bit confusing, but yeah, maybe in the sound demo it will be really obvious because I've scratched around the tracks, so maybe it could have just been a solder bridge, but yeah, last time I was using it, I wasn't noticing much difference at all, so yeah, we'll see how that goes in the sound demo anyway. So let's have a look inside. Now, I was really excited about this little socket that I made for the belt and brick. You can see, I mentioned in the last video, I'll just grab one of these sockets so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I mentioned in the last the video of the belt and brick that I was contemplating whether to put a socket for it or not, so you can pull it out and put it in a different pedal if you want to, if you move on to something else, or you want to just test it in another effect and see if it sounds good, and then, oh yeah, it sounds much better than this one. You just, without having to buy another belt and brick for 18 bucks, you can just, take it out of this one and, I don't know, scrap your last effect or something like that. And I was really looking forward to, going on about how much of a great idea it was. I'll show you how to do, how I did that anyway. That's why I'm holding this IC socket up. You just cut it in half, pretty much, and then you can actually just nip off one of those pins as well. It's easy enough. Pull the pin out, and then just get, a fine, a sharp knife and cut the last socket off or something like that. And it fits in good, and it's not too rough on the pins, I thought, until about half an hour ago when I pulled the before I was getting ready to do this build report, pulled it out, and one of the pins snapped on the belt and brick. Luckily, that was pretty easy to actually solder back on, and I've made a pretty damn good solder joint, if I don't mind saying so myself. Almost looks like it didn't snap at all. So it probably won't snap again, but I don't fancy pulling it out too much anymore. In fact, it's not going to come out ever again because I don't want more of the pins to snap. That kind of sucks. So I'm not sure if you're going to want to do that socket or not. Just take into account that, yeah, there's a bit of the stress on the pins. You're not going to be pulling it out, putting it back in again. I probably pulled it out maybe about 10 or 12 times, and that was enough to snap one of the pins when I was building it. Yeah, I've just put a bit of this foam underneath the belt and brick. In fact, I'm going to grab the foam because I want to show you this. I've got a video on this foam, and the idea I had for the foam was a bit useless, and I haven't actually uploaded it, but I'm still contemplating whether I upload it or not because it does still have a lot of uses. You can buy it from your craft shops, just standard sort of high density foam. You can get it in different thicknesses, and you can get with like an adhesive back. So I won't go into it too much about that because I've got other uses for that, and that's probably going to be some other video. But yeah, it's really handy, that stuff. You just get it from your craft shop. So I put a bit of that underneath the belt and brick to try and keep it upright a bit. So yeah, I don't know if you want to do that or not because yeah, it's unfortunately still too rough on the pins. Also, I just pulled the lamp over a bit. It had a 1 microfarad film cap on the bill of materials. Didn't have one on hand, so I just used a tantalum, and it looked like a non-polarized tantalum, which I didn't think there was such a thing. But I bought it from. I'm pretty sure it came from. Yeah, it came from Tadar. I'm just going to show you the other one I've got in the pack, and I haven't used them because just didn't end up having a use for them. But I don't know if you can just swap and change these for film caps, but I'm pretty sure they're a lot cheaper than film caps. They're also very small as well. So that and the effect sounds the way it should. So in this case it didn't seem to make much difference using that tantalum. I was getting ready for a for something to go, you know, if there was something that didn't sound right or whatever, and then buying a film cap and swapping it, but I haven't noticed any problems with it. Maybe it's not a tantalum, maybe it's called something else. I'm sure the EEs watching this this video will let me know straight away. But yeah, anyway, that's what I used for that 1 microfarad capacitor. And I didn't use sockets on that op amp because I was getting, I guess I was cocky with this one. I was pretty sure it was going to work. It's going to work straight away. This is O Tiree's PCB, and it's got a solder mask on it as well, so it's very easy to work with. And like I said at the start of the video, if you want one, send him a message. He'll be able to hook you up. And finally, Switchcraft mono jacks. Another indication of what I you know, if I use Switchcraft jacks in a build, that I'm very impressed with it. Everything else I use Nutrix, but I save the Switchcrafts for special builds. So if you're familiar with your Aussie colloquialisms, I guess you'd call it, or phrases, this reverb's going straight to the pool room. It's really good. So I hope it comes through on the sound demo because I'm really ramping it up here. But yeah, that'll be the next video I upload anyway. So make sure you check it out. This one should be at the top of your build list. It kicks ass. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more do-it-yourself guitar pedal videos, tutorials, and demos. Thanks for watching.